This is Stew Strauss, the Woodsman, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
All right, what you're about to hear is a piece of an Uber drive that I started recording with this Uber driver I had for June 11th. On my way to go get dropped off for at Chaz's for the Coach House that night on the 11th. Right now it's 1:34 p.m. and it's the 17th, June 17th. Tomorrow we're going to be playing at the Whiskey in whatchamacallit. It's on Sunset Strip in Hollywood. So, yeah, the segment you're about to hear takes place June 11th, and I just keep magnetizing these really cool spiritual people. So, thank you for listening to Inspirado Projecto, and hang tight, because this episode will feature directly after this, another conversation with an exciting Uber driver, and I turn on the recording as soon as we start to talk about like spiritual stuff. And that was on my that Uber driver was driving me up to the Mario Lopez golf tournament that Yächtley Crëw played on the, let's see, what day is it today? 13th, was it? Was it 13th? I think so, yeah. So, thanks for listening.
But I was doing shows in Vegas, and so it was like, you didn't get home until 1, and it was like, I'm not getting up.
Oh.
When I stopped doing the shows, I did go, and the minister was magnificent, and music was horrible. And so I was like, I don't know if you're at all interested in, but I'd like to offer my services or whatever. He was like, oh my God, you're my answered prayer.
How cool is that?
Reading for you.
Wow.
And so then I ended up singing, being their soloist, and then I became their musical director for a while, and then my husband and I out there, we got a divorce, and I moved out here. And in 2005, I was full on making my living as a musician.
Incredible.
Just working on Sundays.
Incredible.
But, now no one buys CDs anymore. And, it's very, very rare. So then I went into jewelry making, and I make, like, spiritual jewelry, and I have my CDs and my spiritual jewelry on my table. So in between, and then I go to school. I'm at UCLA studying and getting my degree in theater as a playwright.
Cool.
So,
cool. You're playwriting?
Yeah.
It's incredible. My old buddy from Columbia College, he writes and directs and directed some plays I was in. So it's funny. Of course, you're bringing up theater because I'm feeling that vibe, that theater vibe, that thespian vibe that just feels so good when you're in that zone and you're among these, brainstormers. And that's what it's like, because he just moved in, and he's my new roommate. So it's just great. Every morning we're brainstorming. Every night before I go to sleep, it's just opening up the brain and digging around in there. So it's great that you're taking these theater classes.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I have one more year.
Wow.
I went back and got the AA at Moore Park College, and I did most of them online, and that was easy and enjoyable. But actually driving to school and being in classes and everything, and then trying to make a living and still have your home and your husband and your dog, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I look forward to that.
Have you been auditioning for plays?
No, I did audition, and then I realized, and I got called back, but I was like,
Oh yes,
And
that's
then,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
I was like, no, I love my husband. I want to be around him.
Mm-hmm.
and my dog and my house. So I did not continue.
The cool thing is, all the stuff that you learn from that, you can incorporate into your stage presence. You know, all those are such great skills that are you just bring with you wherever you go, especially if you get a chance to learn some improv. Oh, I love improv so much. It's such a valuable life skill in every situation. Such a valuable life skill. And it helps with being able to change your mood in a very quickly, and being able to be committed to a new decision pretty easily without much griping or complaining. You know, you're just like, yep. Because the whole thing is yes and, so you're always building upon whatever this other person is offering, so you're all building a reality together, and it just feels so good.
Turn left. Oh, that's cool. I hadn't thought of it that way. My husband really wanted to take an improv class in Studio City or whatever, but
in 1 mile, turn left onto
but then COVID hit, and they weren't doing classes in person anymore. So he's a writer as well, and so he was like,
this is so great that you're learning playwriting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd already written a full-length musical.
Wow.
And I had several staged readings.
Cool.
But I was like, since I'm going back to school to get my degree, it might as well be in playwriting. So.
Wow, that is so cool. So what kind of interesting nuggets did you learn that you can take with you where you go, oh, that is great. That's a good piece of knowledge.
You know what? Quite honestly, I have to say that it's been really just learning. I feel like education is learning about horrible stuff. It's just the more you learn about it, because you look a lot at history, and then you look at social conditions, and there's not a lot of it's heavy. It's really heavy stuff, and I do try to bring my Abraham to it, but it is kind of like, wow. Abraham would say, stop looking at this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, but I have to write a paper on it.
Oh, right,
so
right.
I can't really stop looking at it.
Well, and the cool thing, too, is Abraham would also say, well, now you get to change. You get to create the art you want to see in the world. You get to make those Abraham sort of plays. You get to... I would get such a kick out of making a play. I've never written a play, but it's been, marinating back there, just thinking, ooh, I would love to make a play that incorporates those, the manifestation of reality and all that stuff. And so the audience gets to see this person is just sort of at first accidentally manifesting these very interesting and strange circumstances, but the person doesn't see it, they don't realize it, and then once they wake up to it, and then they start intentionally doing it, then it becomes aware. And I'd love to see how something like that would come about.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the most brilliant nuggets I learned was in my Black African history theater, African American theater.
Turn left onto Maneha Street, then the destination is on your left.
It blew my mind wide open. There's a man named Garland Anderson, and he was a bellhop with a 4th grade education, and he is the first Black person to have a show on Broadway.
Oh yeah, that truck up there. That's where we're gonna go.
And also to have an interracial cast in 1920 something, and it was all about the power of positive thinking.
Wow, I love that. What a cool concept. The fact that was the key to it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. So should I just go?
Oh yeah, this is perfect.
The destination is on your left. 16501 Manhattan.
Well, have a wonderful time.
Hey, thank you.
Great gig.
Thank you.
There's everybody.
Yes. Getting ready to hop and land, yeah.
Nice. How long does it set up at the when can you load?
Well, the cool thing is we have a crew now, so this is nice because our crew's like 5 guys, so they'll put everything together, and we're so fortunate for that because, oh my gosh, sometimes it takes us like 2 hours.
Right.
You know, and then we'd have to have the sound check, you know, and then we have the show, and then we got to tear it all down. It's just another, 2 hours. Oh, my God.
And do you come home after the gig? Or
Sometimes.
Do you stay
Luckily,
the night?
tonight we're staying, which is great.
Good.
I'm so happy we're staying tonight. Oh, my God.
All right. Fantastic.
Tommy, are you putting that in Chaz's truck? Oh.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh. Get such a kick out of the conversations that arise betwixt Uber drivers and myself. I get to go down these rabbit holes with them and find out more about them. So just as that last woman was very, very talented, we now turn our attention towards this other young lady who, as soon as I heard that she was kind of moving in a spiritual direction, on went the recorder. So thank you for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Animals, and I enjoy teaching the newbies, whether it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's I was a real estate agent or whatever, but I just thought it'd be fun to be a personal coach. And I know that term is out there so much, but I want to teach people the power of their speech.
Ooh, I love that. I
See,
love that.
Just the fact that you say, I love that, shows what love you have, which is what attracts things faster than anything else in the world, universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yes.
I thought, how do I package myself with that? And the other thing is I love dancing, and I do my best acting work when I'm in music videos, because the mind goes out the window and the heart kicks in. You know what
I
mean?
love it.
But you can give me a song, and I can create a dance routine like in 2 nanoseconds.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
With characters and all. Anyways, I don't know why I said
With
that.
characters and all.
Yeah, I don't know why I said all that, but
No, that's perfect.
You're making me brainstorm, which I really appreciate.
Well, and also
Thank
I
you.
like to think that somehow there's something about me that's making you feel safe enough to share such, things, because I'm the dude to talk to about this kind of stuff. I love hearing this stuff. I love this stuff. I thrive on these kinds of conversations.
Well, you get what you are, and so when I notice things aren't exactly the way I want them, I go, okay, what am I giving off? You know, because it's not about you. It's what I'm giving off to create that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the frequency I'm plugged into here?
And I found a really cool quick read book called Happy Money by Ken Honda.
Ooh, I'll look that up.
He's Japanese, and he interviewed several very wealthy people, and one of them said, oh, that's easy, arigato, which is thank you in Japanese. He blesses his money every time he spends it.
I love it. Oh, these wise guys right here at the van.
Oh, that stop here?
Yeah.
Oh,
That black
okay.
van. This is a perfect spot. My gosh, I could talk to you for hours.
Thank
Th-
you.
and what's your
pretty
name
cool.
again?
Lori Arnold.
Lori Arnold. All right.
Very
Once you
lovely
start
to
that
meet
life
you.
coaching, I'll see you in the papes.
I love it. Have fun.
I think. Oh yeah, I got to get that out of there.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. That was great. What a wonderful gal, huh? You never know who you're going to meet in the Uber. Wow, extraordinary. As soon as this woman mentioned Abraham Hicks, I started recording. You never know. You never know what gold nuggets you're going to come across with these Uber drivers. Never know. This woman, she pulled up. She looked like she was something like straight out of a movie. I swear. I felt like I entered a movie. And it was funny because I used the analogy right away when I got in there. I said, "Wow, you look like you're out of a movie. I have a bit part in your movie." And I end up finding out that she's an actress. I end up finding out that she's, heavily into the synchronicities and such. And so Yächtley Crëw is playing today. Today, the What is this? What is this date? Let's go take a look here. The 13th. Today's the 13th. And we're playing for a Mario Lopez golf charity tournament. We played here on a couple of occasions. One of the times Kevin Allen got us a gig. Kevin Allen is the manager of Micky Dolenz from the Monkees. Oh, so delicious. I'm drinking my Red Bull. The day is beautiful. Palm trees are waving. Wonderful day. Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Well, we will talk more later because I gotta help these wise guys load in. So I'll give you a little bit of found sound. I just love that you got that truck still, man. I love it, and it's perfect for a fix-it-fill. Take on the same stage we've been on before. What is up? Look at this guy. Welcome to another day of jamming, baby. We will talk more later. All right, now what you are going to hear here is a snippet from a speech given at this auction going on at this Mario Lopez golf tournament to raise money for St. Joseph's Hospital. And we've done this on a couple of occasions. And so we're doing this as a bartering system to get Mario Lopez to appear in our music video for Sex on the Beach. So that will be fun. By the way, if you have not yet heard the song Sex on the Beach, check it out. iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And I like to imagine that it's a cross between Route 66 and Kokomo. Kokomo sings about the beaches. Route 66 sings about cities. And this sings about cocktails. So I've probably mentioned that many times on this show. However, it's worth repeating. All right. Take a gander at this. And thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Of medicine with hope, and this facility is definitely designed to handle anything that's going to come our way, even the unthinkable, like the COVID-19 pandemic. It is definitely our responsibility to care for the poor and the vulnerable, and I just can't wait to get into a facility that will help us take care of patients with dignity and privacy, the way Providence strives to do. So thank you to all of you for helping us in being able to do this. So now, I would like to invite a friend of Providence, Winnie Yachtley, to come to the stage for our live auction.
It is Monday the 13th.
Give me a second. Thank you, Dr. Campen. We appreciate that. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for not wasting the good applause on me. I appreciate that very much.
5:40 p.m.
Thank you.
This is at the golf tournament before Yächtley Crëw plays.
Well, welcome back, guys. It's good to see everybody back here, guys. It's been 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys excited to be back? Did you have a great time out on the course today? I bet you did. Well, tonight, I want to remind you that your generous support will ensure that this community will continue to receive the best care. And as a reminder, proceeds from today's tournament and our live auction will support the Minutes Matter Emergency Services campaign. Now, I have a question. Who came out to support the Mario Lopez Golf Classic tonight? Well done. Who came out because they just wanted to be out for a nice dinner tonight? Well done. Who has no clue what you're doing here, but you're having the time of your life so far? Right here, of course, Mario's table. I love it. All right, well, we're going to get started with our live auction. I do have one question. How many people have never been to an auction before? It's our first time. And it's okay. I say that not to embarrass you, but just to share with you how it's going to go. Anybody watch a fast-talking, funny guys on TV? I do not do that. I go very slow. For example, I will say, ladies and gentlemen, I have $200. Do I hear 3 now? Would you give 4? How to make 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, we'll go that slow. Okay, you ready? Okay, all right, let's go. Let's get started with our first item. So here we go. Here's what we are going to do. We're going to have a little bit of fun, if you will. Before I actually start the live, we're going to do a little warm-up item, if you will. Now, this year's warm-up item is going to be our Mario Lopez Golf Classic Mystery Envelope. Here's what we are going to do. I can tell you there's a little bit of value. I can tell you there's some fun in here, some more than others. I can tell you that I'm going to start the video at $1. If you do not bid $1, I fail to tell you that every dollar we raise from the sale of our mystery envelope goes to support who? That's a lot, never mind. The Mario Lopez Golf Classic. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? So who's going to give me $1 on our mystery envelope? Do I hear $2, somebody? Who'll give $5? How about $25? Who'll give $50, somebody? At $50. Do I hear $100? Who'll get $200 right there? Do I hear $300? At $300? $400, young lady. Ma'am, I took 4. Then would you give me $500? And she said 5, bless your heart, and a sip, bless your heart. At $600.
Why not go 5?
$600, thank you. You guys got something going on. You're bidding and sipping.
Why not go 5?
Alcohol. $600. At 7. Now, ladies and gentlemen, folks, everybody on this side of the room is allowed to bid. Okay, I just want to make that clear. All right, I have $600. At $700. Say, you young lady, would you do that? $700. I'm sorry. No, that young lady said she wants you to be 7. She'll go $700. Mystery envelope, $800. At $800. I can tell you there's a lot of fun in here. At $800. $800. Bless your heart, young lady. Look at that young lady. $800 to her. At 9. You got more than me. $900. Anybody else? Going once. $900, she said. Would you give $1,000? I love this. $1,000. I'll bend the kids over here. $1,100.
What did they bid on?
$1,100.
They don't know yet.
Yes.
They don't know what they're bidding on yet. He said it's a mystery envelope. Yeah, it's a mystery envelope.
Over here. At 12. Oh,
he said it might or might not have value.
I don't blame you. $1,200. Going once, $1,200 twice. Fair morning, final call and a half. Sold to the kids right over here, $1,100. Congratulations. Wait till you see what they got. There's a certificate for an 85-inch big screen and a 75-inch big screen. 2 of them. Man, that's a lot of YouTube kids on that. I'll tell you that.
There we go.
All right, so here we go. Let's go to our first item. Are you ready to go, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. Do we have any Kings fans in the audience today? Any Kings hockey fans? Here we go. We have a certificate for lower level tickets to the mutually agreed upon LA Kings 22-23 regular season home game at the new Crypto.com Arena and dinner for 4 in the San Manuel Club to be used in conjunction with your tickets We are throwing in one number 50, Sean Dursey, autographed canvas. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the $200. 4 tickets for the Kings. I have 200 bid. Come on, guys. That table bid 4 Kings tickets with dinner. San Manuel Club at 200 right there. Who get 300? Ladies and gentlemen, 300. Thank you. $400. $400. San Manuel Club. 4 tickets at $400. Anyone else at $400? 400. I got it right here first. I need $500.
We got a bid, right?
Probably $500. $600. $700. That's
maybe not anymore.
$700. Take a sip. You're a better bidder.
We go for dinner at the hockey thing.
I drink too much wine and bust it. Hey, can I borrow your charger for 2 secs?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be a legend.
Yeah.
4 tickets. San Manuel.
And you just press this little thing on the side and it should power it up.
Rock star.
Did it work? Is it working?
Just give me a little 2 seconds.
It's good. It's a good charger.
Thanks, man.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a couple of those magnetic ones and they're fucking...
Didn't work? Yes, she said. 900, sir.
We were going to bid on the hockey tickets.
One hockey. And now we're 900
We're going to get into this. Wait
twice.
for the big thing.
Fair warning. Final call. And I have sold right over there $850.
I think the 12th of July. That's what we've got to aim for.
Where's that?
And we're trying to shoot a video with these guys, but
shall we?
it's a bit of a disaster, but we'll recover.
We have Aruba. Southwest Airlines gang.
It is now 12:23 p.m. Thank you for listening to Inspirado Projecto. You just heard some of the behind-the-scenes stuff at the auction, the Mario Lopez auction. Tonight, let's see, today's the 18th, and so tonight, Yächtley Crëw is playing at the Whiskey. Let's see what we get down here. So Yächtley Crëw is playing at the Whiskey tonight. And I have got to be there with the guys at 4 p.m. to unload the truck. I'm trying to get my intention is to get better at managing my time and doing things in a much more immediate fashion. Certain things. Like this, for instance. I want to do my laundry we're going back out on the East Coast again. We're going to be going out to Illinois to 2 places, which is great, near my hometown. Rosemont at the Park Bankway Park or Park Bankway Park or something. Parkway Bank Park. Rosemont. Then the day after that, Highland Park. So that's coming up. And so since we got the whiskey show tonight, I've got to load my suitcase onto the what do you call it? The trailer, because Tommy and Rob are driving across country. They're going to drive. They're going to take the morning, tomorrow morning, they're leaving with our stuff. And rather than paying, or dealing with airplane stuff concerning the luggage, see, this way I could just carry my backpack. But all the other stuff will go into my luggage. So that's something I've got to prepare for tonight. So this is the intention I'm putting out there. The line at the bank is going to go easy. This is the only way that I can get a roll of quarters $10. So, yeah, I'm going to get a roll of $10 quarters, do my laundry, imagine 45 minutes for each thing, 45 minutes to wash it, and then maybe 45 minutes to dry it, and then pack it up the suitcase, getting an Uber driver, just setting up the timing just right. So, yes, that's what's going on today. Now, let me talk about this Mario Lopez golf tournament that you were just listening to a little bit ago. So we were getting pictures with Mario Lopez after the show, and we saw him talking with this short guy, this older older gentleman, and it turns out it was Joe Pesci. So Joe Pesci was there at the golf tournament. I'm also curious if he was there for the whole thing, if he was there to see us play. Because if that's the case, that's just phenomenal. That just blows my mind. That's what's like one of the things that's just been putting my mind in these loop-de-loops, if you will, is the idea of that. These various musicians, celebrities, et cetera, these various people that I've seen on TV are now coming out to see Yächtley Crëw. There's a guy from KLOS, the radio station out here, who, the KLOS crew, they come out and they see us play at Whiskey A Go Go. Chances are they'll be there tonight too. And so that guy's always wearing a Yächtley Crëw t-shirt in photos and stuff. He's always talking about Yächtley Crëw on the radio. It's just astounding. It's astounding. Wow. What's so interesting about the fact that we saw Joe Pesci at the golf tournament thing was that Chaz is always quoting him. I think he's quoting him. They're always quoting Casino. You know, and like there's a part in there where the one guy says, "What, you're going to let him talk to you like that?" And So the Yächtley Crëw guys will say that to each other once in a while. You know, if someone says something to Rob or someone says something to someone else, they're like, "What? Wait, you're gonna let him talk to you like that?" So it was just interesting. We happened to see Joe Pesci, and this falls in line with all the other predictions of things, dare I say, the other various, like Fran Tarkington. We're always joking about that's incredible. And what happens? We end up meeting Fran Tarkington at Breakers, or at least Chaz does. And then, of course, the other thing that we always joke about from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Rooney, pardon my French, but you're an asshole, Rooney. So we're always joking about that. And that's what was funny, because when we showed up to Florida during that time, we passed by a restaurant that says Rooney's, and then what happens? We end up meeting not Art Rooney, but the son of Art Rooney, the Pittsburgh Steelers guy who was just sitting right there at the Breakers. His last name is Rooney. So there are these very key, when I investigate these extraordinary phenomena that emerge into our reality experiences, the more that I examine that stuff, the more it's just exciting to see, okay, this thing arrived in our reality experience, and then you'd make a tie to it. You go, okay, where was that spot where we talked about this? And then the next thing is, how soon between when we talked about it and when it happened? How soon, how far was the distance in time-wise concerning that? So I think once we find ourselves, I don't want to say take it for granted, so to speak, but I'm just saying this in terms of like commonplace. I'll just say commonplace. If the more you start noticing those kinds of miraculous happenings, what's interesting is that, and it just becomes commonplace. Now you're just expecting these kinds of things to arrive. And then what's great too is then you can start really stretching your imagination into ways that you might previously not have thought of before. But now that there's this reservoir. Oh, by the way, an old car just pulled out in front of me. An old car, like one of those, like they're square in shape. Like, and they have like the suicide doors, like you see the mobsters have back in the day. Which is interesting, because I was just talking about mobster. I was just talking about the mafia. Was I talking about Casino or Goodfellas? I don't know. I get those mixed up. But Joe Pesci's in one of those or both of those, maybe. So it's interesting that here we are talking about this guy who's in these mob movies, and all of a sudden I see one of these cars that looks like something you'd see the guys hanging out the windows with the Tommy guns. You know what I'm talking about, right? Driving one of those cars, and it's got the suicide doors that open up the other way, and then a lot of times these cars will have, like, in the back of it, not in the trunk, well, I guess it would be the trunk area, but it's near that area. It's in the back where the trunk would be, but it's a seat that faces backwards. And I think that's where kids would sit. I'm not certain, but I remember seeing these kinds of cars growing up at various parades throughout my life. Because usually at these parades, there's a point where they bring out all the old cars. You see all the old cars. That was interesting. While I'm in the middle of documenting synchronicities and manifestations of reality, as I'm in the middle of talking about that, where I said closing the gap between these things, as you appreciate it more, you find yourself closing the gap between these things because it becomes nonchalant, it becomes commonplace. I mean, look how fast that was. I just mentioned Joe Pesci and the Mafia guys, and all of a sudden what happens there? That car shows up, echoing back to those olden days, the mobsters. Whoa, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's so incredible. Fran Tarkington would be at a loss for words. My goodness. So intriguing. So exciting. I'll be recording more tonight, I believe. This episode, I'll say it's most likely going to be an hour. I don't want it to be much longer than that. However, I can pretty much say it's going to be about an hour. So there'll probably be some stuff that I record tonight at Whiskey. So hold on to your hats. We shall see what happens. And thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. Very, very interesting. This is moments after that last segment you just heard. I walked up to the doors of the bank, and they were locked. The doors were locked. I looked through the windows. I peered through the windows, and I didn't see anybody in there. This is the nearest bank of my banks. I do have enough for one wash and one dry. The question is, do I want to dare to wash the darks with the whites? I always do. I hear that you don't, because you want to keep those whites crispy and, bleached, if you will. There's of course, always the possibility that you might end up. I guess the colors from the other. I guess that's it. The colors from the other clothes might end up washing off on the whites. Last thing you need is a big blue stain from your pants. Your last thing you need is your blue jeans staining your your white captain's shirt. That's not a very good thing. So what do you do in this moment? This moment in time. Sometimes things. Sometimes, you know what? I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to see, just like the olden days. I used to be able to buy quarters from the cashier. Let's see if they still do that. They used to tell me that there's a coin shortage. There's a quarter shortage. Well, I find that hard to believe, because if the banks can give me quarters, then certainly grocery stores can, because their quarters come from the banks. It's not like the banks are hoarding them, are they? Are the banks hoarding the quarters? I just don't know about this. Are they quarter hoarders? Quarter hoarders? Quarter hoarders? Which one is it? You can't help but wonder. So what I'm planting a seed out there with is, I go to the grocery store. I say, hello, I would like to buy $10 in quarters. It's laundry day. And they say, oh, yes, I can relate. Here are those quarters. Lickety-split. Here are those quarters. You can get them all right. No problemo. I'll buy a stick of gum. I'll pay for it with my debit card. Ask for $10 cash back. Get a roll of quarters. Bada boom, bada bing. Zada zoom, zada zing. I got myself some quaddies. I could do my laundry. Desperate times call for desperate measures, as a wise person once said. Which has been repeated through the decades, through the millennia, if you will, time and time again. So yeah, you just never know which direction you might be led in. You originally thought it was this direction, and all of a sudden this thing happens, which then scoots you along in a different direction that you never anticipated. And that's what's happening here. The original intention, as you were going with me on the original journey, the original quest, was to the bank. Now, the quest has changed. Perhaps the point of me going up there was so I could talk to you in that last segment and tell you that synchronicity. Sometimes when you're out and about, you're walking around, just being around in nature, seeing things move. I think sometimes just that energy and that movement from other objects out there in the world, whether it be other earthlings or cars, what have you, that generates certain ideas, because you're walking through one another's brain space, or I should say mind space, not brain space necessarily, well, possibly. But it's just that idea of like walking through the mind space, walking through the same ether, sharing that ether that they're, breathing the same air they're breathing. And so there's got to be something, like if, for instance, if muscles can hold memories, then certainly, and as they say, water molecules, water has memory, water remembers. If that's the case, what happens? What our thoughts? Our thoughts must become some sort of mist, some sort of. It alchemizes into that next thing. Ice turns to water, water turns to steam. So, when your thoughts, you get the thought, it's floating around out there. Was it someone else's thought? Possibly. Or is it just simply a a vibration, a frequency that's just moving along out there, and you just happen to plug into it. It could be either one or both at the same time. You know, it's so funny. A lot of times you don't need the total answer to a question in order to just simply interact with something, and in order just to, test it out. Experiment with it, apply it, see how it works. That's where those gold nuggets are discovered. And next thing you know, you're walking through quest, and applying those gold nuggets in ways that you definitely would not have known about had you not just paid attention to the signs. So, for instance, me walking up to the bank and the bank being closed then generated a whole nother path that opened up. New frequencies, new insight. Because it's been happening to me so much lately with certain people that I share synchronicities with. Friends who, every time I talk to them on the phone, there's always going to be at least one synchronicity to share with them. And it's been happening more and more. Those very friends that I share those synchronicities with, I'll call them up, or they'll call me up or whatever, and we start talking, and all of a sudden I end up utilizing a specific analogy. Why I end up using that specific analogy, I have no idea. It's just, to me, I'm thinking it's coming off the top of my head. Well, it truly is coming up off the top of my head, so much so that it's coming up off the top of their head, off the frequency of their antenna reception. So I'm entering into that stream. And whether they're broadcasting it out or I'm just picking it up, there have been 3 or 4 of these kinds of very specific analogies lately with certain friends of mine that I talk to, and I would just pull out this particular analogy, and sure enough, it had some deep, specific meaning for them, or specific questions that I ask them in a very, very particular manner. What does it do? It unlocks this unexpected door that either they haven't thought about in a while or they were just thinking about. Those very simple thrills in life. They're really, that's what it's all about right there. Now, to change some gears here, I got to ask you, why are they taking out the bus stop benches at these bus stops? There are old people at these bus stops. Why aren't they considering these people? Making people just stand there. And sometimes these things don't even have shelters on them. You're just there. Sometimes you don't even know it's a bus stop until you're really searching for it. So if you're a Los Angeles politician person, please put some, and you're listening to this, please put some benches. Put some benches around Los Angeles, so people who are waiting for the bus have some kind of comfort while they're waiting. Give these old folks, they are living histories, living libraries, living archives. These are the people we should be leaning into and listening to their wisdom and gaining knowledge from them. These are the folks who want to help make as comfortable as possible. So let me just plant that little seed in your brain. All right, now I'm about to enter the grocery store, see if we can find ourselves $10 in quarters. Thank you for listening to Inspirado Projecto. Extraordinary. I just got out of the grocery store. I got my $10 roll of quarters. I'm going to take a laundry break. get those clothes laundered up, ready for the tour. I've realized that last time we went out East Coast, a lot of times with these, I'll remember to take TikTok videos. And that's sometimes at the, I don't want to say detriment, that sounds so dramatic, but that's at the, that's taking up space of me podcasting. But it doesn't have to be. And it doesn't, there's plenty of hours in the day. So when I am TikToking, the times that I'm not, I can record my podcast. So I am going to do more of that. Going to do more of that from now on. And chances are, since we got 10 minutes left on this show, you'll have to wait until the next episode to hear my interviews with folks at the whiskey. We have a new guy that's working with us now, Chris Husted, a.k.a. Ace, our sound engineer, sound designer, has brought in. His name is Shannon. Really cool guy. He helped us out on the Mario Lopez charity thing. Thank you. And just a cool dude. And I think it's just great, the people that we've surrounded ourselves with in Yächtley Crëw. Such good vibes. Good people. They care about the audiences. They respect, appreciate, value input from the audiences, and also the time that we're spending together. Why bands reach a certain time in their lives where typically, as we've heard or as we've seen, formulated blueprint after blueprint, for some reason, there's this idea that the higher you climb in that music journey, it's necessary for you to become less personable. It's like it goes hand in hand. I don't know why that is. I can imagine that maybe some of these people who don't like to sign autographs or talk with people in crowds, it's like maybe they're tired of saying the same stories over and over. A lot of times they'll hear the same questions. It's not anybody else. It's not anybody's fault. It's just a base question that a lot of people are curious about. How did you guys meet? Well, I think what I'm going to do now, each time I tell the story, it'll be a different story. So this way, there are all these different stories that are out there. And it gets to be very convoluted. And so, we've already heard the regular story that's out there. And I'm thinking we all met each other on a cruise ship. Late at night, we just got on the band equipment, started jamming. And next thing we knew, we had to start a yacht rock band. And that could be fun. It could be a fun story. It's much more fun that way. Heck, we're using aliases. I'm Stony Shores, by the way. I've got a Facebook page I rarely use. It's up there, though. It's interesting. Remember the neighbors I was telling you about, who live right across the way, over my back fence? And for the longest time, just that window, all I saw in that window, the curtains were open, and I didn't remember seeing anybody move in. But there was just a table there with a chair, and I kept like thinking, oh my gosh, what if I look in there? What if I glance in that general direction, and there's just like this one day, and there's just this being just sitting there, staring at me through this window. Anyway, yesterday, I heard this like lady kind of squawk. It was kind of like a squawk, the way that she was yelling, saying, "Don't worry, I'm moving out. Don't worry, I'm leaving now." And I'm like, "What?" And I glance out, and it's the woman who had moved into that place. I've seen a kid, I've seen her, and I've seen a guy on a couple of occasions. Sometimes she's out in on her little balcony thing. She's out there a couple times with her friend. But I heard her saying, "Oh, I'm out here," and she was getting stuff off the little balcony there, and brought it downstairs out to her car. I didn't see the kid, so I don't know what the heck happened to the kid, whose kid it is. But I've just been thinking a lot about this. Like, where did that woman go? I hope she has people who love her. I hope she's able to find someone who really gels with her. Gosh. Anytime I see a split like that, a split of anything, something ending, it's... Ooh. I had no idea, of course, what went on in that family. However, let's just hope that she's out of it. I mean, you don't want to be with someone who wants to break up with you. You don't want to be with someone you don't want to force anything to happen. That just doesn't feel good, does it? Forcing things to happen. You want to empower yourself. Find those things. I saw this thing on TikTok, and it was just so, and I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but and I thought, this is just so poignant, and this makes so much sense, and it feels so good to see this and to realize that we could turn the beat around. On TikTok, it said, every time I'm being mean to myself or treating myself poorly, I'm actually treating, like this. I saw a girl do it. She's like, every time I treat myself poorly or don't believe in myself, I'm actually speaking to this girl. And then it shows all these old photos of when she was a kid. And you go, oh my gosh. Like, that's it right there. Making that young version of ourselves proud. Making them, becoming the mentor that our young selves always wanted. Become the mentor. That belief and that excitement. And that's where you want to be. That's the state that you want to be at all times. Surrounding yourself with the people who help reinforce that, help everyone be in their element, being the best versions of themselves, treating others how they would prefer to be treated. Just being good, just being innovative, explorative, adventurous, quest-seeking. Those kinds of things, they turn a dullard into a daredevil, so to speak. Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Are you guys moving in?
I live here.
Oh, you live here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What's your name?
Brenda.
Oh, hi, I'm Kurt.
Hey, you just moved in?
Nice to meet you. No, I've lived here a while. Yeah, nice to meet you. You never know who lives in your building, do you? You never know. Jamie Lee Wise who's my new roommate, it's just great. The dreams have been really good. Each night, so far the past by a week or so, we've been watching Breaking Bad. Probably about 4 episodes maybe. Started about 5 or 6 at night. Go till about 1. That's what it seems like. But that's so anyway, thing is, what can we do to make our young selves proud? What can we do to make our future selves proud? What can we do to, and not pride, but like excited, filled with vibrancy. Dreaming, innovation, unpacking the curiosity. By the way, I'll be putting up NFTs, my first Yächtley Crëw NFTs. And they're not for sale yet, but in this description, I will put the web address so you can go check them out. And if you're big into NFTs, and if you're big into Yächtley Crëw, keep your eyes peeled. This concludes another episode of Inspirado Projecto. Thank you for listening.
Hi, it's Micky Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
It's a face palm, a bomb of calm, like a napalm bomb. It's a face palm, crumbly malm of loamy alms. And how soon do you think you to do it again? It's a face palm, here it come alms, playing Brahms on prom. And how soon do you think you to do it again? Have the harms from Guam to the cable comes. Are the rom diatoms glom in their moms? It's a face palm, the book of psalms and rhymes and rums. And how soon do you think you'll do it again?